Blinded by the light, wrapped up like a douche, another runner in the night.
All right, welcome back to Golf Shop After Dark. I'm Daniel,
I'm Billy.
and we have a special guest here.
A guest. I wouldn't go so far as to say special. I think it's just a guest.
He's
It's a
good
special
guy.
guest.
It's a special guest, sure.
Henry.
How you
Henry
doing?
Steinken.
One and only.
Welcome to the welcome to Golf Shop After Dark.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. This is wild.
And Henry is a movie guy, actor.
Actor.
So he's telling us all the lighting stuff, the camera angles.
Should look better than
So,
last week.
Yeah, we're
I think
growing.
I think so, definitely. And these things take time, and
Yeah.
especially when you're doing a podcast in a golf shop with crazy lighting and all sorts of things.
And a couple of golf pros that aren't even. Well, I mean, Billy's.
I'm a little bit dialed in,
Billy's the tech guy.
Billy
Billy's
gets
really
it,
into
but
it.
these things take time, like anything.
He helped me get my rig.
but got the rig.
Nice rig.
Yeah,
Um,
rig's all ready for the winter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Billy just got back from his trip.
Yep.
How was it?
Good. Really good. So like we said last week, played 12-hole preview of Sedge Valley, and then Lido the second day. Lido's the private out of the four courses now, and
So there's one private, three public, or three
one
resort
private, two public, and then Sedge comes out next year.
will come out. Yeah.
Sedge is going to be special.
I think it was better than Lido.
No, I mean very different. Lido is Scotland. Lido is literally Scotland, like the closest you can get to Scotland from
Yeah.
in America. And Sedge is like, I've never played, but I would say Pine Valley-esque.
Gotcha.
It's-
Treat more wooded a little bit.
It's wooded. Sight lines are unbelievable, and yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good match play course. A lot of short par fours. There's like a
Interesting.
240-yard par three.
So we got to do a work trip up there.
Got to do a work trip. Definitely got to do a work trip next year. Yeah.
Well, and I know I asked you this earlier. What's the plan for Sedge? Do they have like a plan for like
Tournaments?
events, tournaments?
I don't think so. I
Maybe
think
not.
no. I think Sedge in 26 is gonna have Wisconsin State Am.
All right, so
But,
local stuff, or
yeah.
state and local stuff. That's
Yeah, I don't think anything. Like we were talking about with Zach, our DOG earlier today. It's just out of the way. I mean, it's 2.5 hours from Milwaukee.
Yeah, and we're
West.
about an hour from Milwaukee, 45 minutes an hour. From
So it is.
Milwaukee.
I mean, it's just, they don't have the infrastructure to have that many people there in a major tournament at all.
Well, you were telling someone that the caddies live an hour away, or roughly. Or
Caddies live, probably half hour, 45 minutes away, but not in like a
they're not right in.
no,
town.
and they're not in a populated place either.
Yeah.
Just some trailers or something. Who knows? I'll be in a trailer.
Yeah,
Speaking of
yeah.
trailers,
Yeah.
Yours
Couple
probably
days.
A little nicer though, but
yeah, it'll be nice.
yeah, a few days. You're gone. Your last day Sunday. You're
Last day
starting
Sunday.
To drive on Monday.
I'm gonna leave early Monday. Probably
Yeah,
leave at 5
get
o'clock.
through Chicago with all that traffic with construction before
Yeah, I'll probably leave at 5 o'clock on.
You should.
on Monday. Yeah.
get to the other side, and then
Yeah.
you're going to Atlanta first, right?
It just north of Atlanta, Alpharetta.
Alpharetta.
Got family there. I'll stay there, and then I'll boogie to. I was talking to the new director of the Ford, and I'm like, yeah, it's about 4.5
Oh, yeah.
from where I'm gonna stay Monday night. And he's like, nah, it's about 6.5. So
Oh, he knows.
yeah,
He's a Georgia boy.
yeah, it'll be brutal, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
It'll be good.
That'd be
So
awesome.
yeah,
So,
What?
Henry, we got you on for a reason.
yeah.
Besides being, in the golf shop with us.
Just one of the boys.
One
as
of the
they
boys.
say. One of the boys working the shop. Yeah.
So, last year you had a bit of an incident, we might say.
I'd call it that. Yeah.
Why don't you tell everyone what happened, and we're going to talk later about what some of the goals are with golf this year.
Mhm.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Big goals.
Big goals. Well, I think part of why I'm on is because both Billy here and Daniel have really been helping me out a lot with these goals. But I'll start from the beginning here. last June, I was looping out here. I've been a caddy my whole life. Love caddying. And I was hitting the head by a golf ball right in my right temple when I was caddying.
Hold on. Now I'm laughing.
Why are you laughing?
Because I think you're gonna start laughing, but now I'm like, all right.
I'm good. I'm locked in right
hold on.
now.
Okay.
Dialed.
Okay,
So,
you're dialed in.
I don't know
Okay,
if this
keep
is going to get edited, but I will say.
No editing
no
here. We don't do
editing.
anything.
All right, so I will say, and I'll go into the injury later, but part of the residuals of this injury has been, there's obvious physical that I will get into,
Yeah.
but a mental thing that I was not expecting was laughing. There are times when I cannot stop laughing.
And it's gotten us into some predicaments in the golf shop.
I would say it's gotten a lot better.
It's got a lot better.
But there are still times when I'll just start cracking up, and I can't.
We call it losing it, and it.
Yeah, he loses it.
It's good.
But
it's not good. It's
I will say there are moments where once it starts going, I can control it.
Yes.
But
it's better than the alternative, like you said, right? It's
I'm gonna get into that, but
okay.
just briefly. So anyway, I got into an accident on the golf course. I got hit in the head by a golf ball, and I was fine at first. I was
Which is, mind you, I think the scary part.
Well, that's what was crazy.
Yeah.
So I was fine. I mean, I got hit. I didn't pass out. I didn't black out or anything. I was extremely dizzy. I was seeing stars. Ambulance came out onto the golf course, got me on
Hole 10?
Fairway of 10.
Yep.
And
I was in the short game area when I saw it driving out, and I was like,
I wasn't
someone might have
here.
had a
I don't know
heart
where I was.
You were just coming in later.
Okay.
I think you were coming in like 11.
So here, let's
It
just
happened.
paint the picture a little better here. So you make the turn on 9, right? And if anyone that's listening or watching has played Lakeshore, you make the turn, the members go inside, get snacks, drinks, whatever, and the caddies immediately go to the 4 caddy spot out on 10, which is behind a big oak.
yeah.
And then the members go
halfway up the hole.
Yeah, members go straight to the tee box with their drivers. So the caddies are waiting for them. It takes 10, 15 minutes to turn. And so you're 4 caddying out with another caddy.
So I'm 4 caddying with another caddy. This other caddy beats me to the 4 caddy spot. So I get there maybe a half second behind him. At that point, though, my golfer had already hit his ball. He had hit his ball, and it was in the air as I was planted at the spot, and I asked the other caddy, hey, did you see where the ball went? He said, yeah, it should be coming in right to left. And he lost it. There was almost no chance I was going to see that ball. I mean, there could have been, but it would have been hard. So I turned my head to face down the fairway, because if it's going right to left, I'm expecting, I'm like 220, 230 out. And so
mind you, really good golfer.
Yes.
So you're not expecting this ball to not be down the middle, right?
Well, and I hear a ball on the left side. Like I said, I'm only 220 out, so if it's going to be on the left side, it should be 240, 250 on the left side at least.
Yeah.
Before I even know what's happening, ball strikes me in the temple. I knew exactly what happened when it happened. I hit the deck because I knew to just get on the ground. The ambulance first, so they called an ambulance right away. It got there.
Well, first off, we came out, or the golf staff came out. I think it was Zach.
Zach and Hobby, the caddy master.
And originally you said, I'm fine, no problem.
I knew I had to. Here's the thing. I was fine. I knew I was fine. I just knew that I had to go to the hospital.
Okay.
You think it was the initial shock that made you feel fine?
It was the shock,
or do
but
you
it
think
was.
You were fine.
Well,
hard to say.
Hard
I think I was fine.
But you didn't have any feeling go away and any.
No, I was. So here's the thing. I was, for all intents and purposes, I was fine.
Yeah.
I mean, it hit the soft part of my skull, which is why I knew I had to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I was like, I'm seeing stars. I probably need to lay down. Maybe I got a bump on the head. I don't know. So I said to the golfers, I'm like, I think I got to go to the hospital. Ambulance first pulls up. They want me to get into a golf cart, but I'm so dizzy and seeing stars, I can't stand up.
Yeah.
I mean, I am just.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm laid out on the ground.
Yeah.
I'm not going anywhere. Ambulance comes out on the golf course. They physically lift me up, put me in the ambulance. From there, they actually asked me, do you want to go to Highland Park Hospital or Evanston Hospital?
And you're like, just freaking take me to the hospital.
Well, I was like, at this
I'm sure
point,
you couldn't say,
You want what do you want me to Google? Which one? Google the Yelp reviews?
Well, that's the thing, right? Well, I also just thought I think I asked them which is closest, and then I in my head was like, I think I'm fine. Let's just get me to the closest hospital, even though I'm more familiar with Evanston Hospital.
Oh, yeah.
I was born there.
As was I, just as an aside.
Yeah, there you go.
But no, I got to Highland Park Hospital.
Good place to be born.
Hey,
Yeah.
I mean,
So
I'd say I'm biased,
Oh,
but good place to be born.
2 out of 3.
Get to Highland Park Hospital, CAT scan right away, and the doctor says, so they do a CAT scan, and they find a tear on the right by the artery that's right here inside my skull. And they said the tear was so small it almost didn't even show up on the CAT scan.
Oh, okay.
It was like, in fact, at first they had to look for it, and then maybe months later I saw the CAT scan they saw, and it was the size of a pen.
Is there an internal bleed at this point?
So that's a good question. There is a very slow trickle of blood.
Okay.
But the doctor in the ICU said it was such a slight bleed that there was no need for concern. They were going to monitor me overnight. It wasn't going to be a big deal. Just basically not sleep it off, but we're going to let you, you're going to stay the night here. We're going to monitor you. We're going to give you, they gave me some medication to prevent seizure if that should happen. But overall, the feeling
Please tell me
was...
they gave you pain meds.
I
Or maybe not.
I think, to be honest with you, I don't remember exactly what they gave me. I know they gave me one medication that was to prevent seizures, but I was laying in this bed in the ICU with my dad, and I was totally fine. And then just talking to my dad about whatever. I think the Johnny Depp trial was going on at that time. So, and I was like, are you watching this on TV? Anyway, that's what we were just talking, and then about a moment, literally that, I couldn't speak. I was blurring my speech so badly. It was like I'd had, 6 shots of vodka. I literally could not speak. And then simultaneously, I remember I had to go to the bathroom. So I thought, well, maybe I should just take my belt off. And I couldn't move my left hand. So my left hand, when I lifted my left hand up, it was doing this. And I didn't know why it was doing that. And I couldn't move my fingers. So I was like, all right, so something's going on here. My dad sees this. He saved my life. So he rushes out to the nurse's station trying to get a doctor or anybody in the room. Nobody's helping him. Nobody's getting to him.
Oh,
I'm really starting to fade here. I can barely speak. I really can't move my arm at all anymore at this point.
I'm assuming you were panicking in your head.
It's funny. I was in such shock. I was fine. I was literally fine. I was I knew something was wrong, but I had the wherewithal to know that there was probably more bleeding at this point.
Yeah.
Swelling?
I just knew there was probably blood at this point. Something bad had happened.
Something went from 0 to 100.
Almost instantly.
Yeah, so it's not just,
no,
let's sit here and monitor this.
No. And now luckily...
Did you do another CT scan?
So that's the other thing. So then luckily the doctor that had seen me earlier, the ICU doctor, was walking by my room at that exact moment. And he sees me and he goes, all right, we got to right away get him to a CT scan. Now at this point though, I was like, what's the point of that? I know what's going on. Why don't we just rush me into surgery? So see, of course I'm waiting for the CT scan and because there's somebody already in there and there's only one MRI machine. So I'm waiting for it, and there's a nurse with me.
Hold on. Right now you're in Highland Park.
Yeah.
If you would have went to Evanston, would it have been better?
Yeah, I probably would have saved myself 5-10 minutes, which at that point I didn't realize time was of the essence.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I'm waiting there, and the nurse that is waiting with me to get the scan is like, you got to calm down. I'm like, because at this point I'm really freaking out.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, listen, you got to help me calm down then. I'm losing feeling and motor function in my left side. You have to help calm me down. Finally, I get a CAT scan, shows what they want to see. At that point, I'm immediately rushed into another room. Frantic, doctors, nurses running everywhere. It's like something out of ER. Luckily, there was an ambulance waiting outside, ready to go. And so the EMTs come in, they start asking me questions. What's my name? What year is it? Who's the president? Just questions.
And you're just nailing them, though.
Well, I'm just knocking it out of the park. And actually, I had a joke.
He's winning.
I had a joke. I didn't say this, but I thought this is how messed up I am. I had a joke in my head that when they asked me, hey, who's the president? I was going to say, well, the media wants you to think it's Joe Biden. But actually, but no, I didn't do that.
Oh,
So no,
man.
but no, so I'm kind of freaking out. They get me into an ambulance very quickly. I'm in the ambulance. The woman, the EMT that's with me in the ambulance is like, all right, let's talk. What do you want to talk about? I said, look, I don't care what we talk about. You tell me your life story. Like, why are you asking me what I want to talk about? Like, I want to talk about the Mets. Like, what are we talking about here?
Yeah.
So she starts telling me her life story. Now, while she's doing this, I have my feet, like, you can't see, but I have my feet like this on the bed. And I'm trying angled up, and I'm trying to move them out like that. And as I'm doing that, I can do it fine. As time is passing, in this ambulance, I can't do the left one anymore.
Only the right one.
Only the right one. So I'm like, all right, so this confirms what I already think is happening. Still can't really speak. I mean, it's like really slurred and not good. Get to Evanston.
Left arm still.
Left arm is probably getting worse. I mean, I probably at this point can't even lift it, but I haven't tried since, maybe 5 minutes before that. I get to Evanston. They get me in a room. Luckily, so they're rushing me into surgery, and then they stopped me, and they were going to do a COVID test. And the guy that was pushing me on the bed goes, if they make this effing kid do a COVID test, I'm going to effing lose it. So they rush me into surgery.
This is the EMT?
This is one of the guys at Evanston Hospital.
Okay.
This guy's like, there is no way this kid's doing it.
Get him in right now.
So they get me in right away. Actually, before I get in.
What are they going to do if you test positive?
Well,
send you out the door?
They'll have to put protective stuff on.
I mean, come on.
Regardless,
but yeah, a waste of time. Just
and right before I'm knocked out, my mom comes in, and I was like, I don't even want to see her. Let's just do this thing. Like, I'll see her when I wake up. Now, there's a reason why they had me see her then.
Sure.
But so I see her. She leaves. They rush me into surgery. I wake up, half my head is shaved. They had removed the front right part of my skull due to the swelling of my brain. I mean,
you only have one surgery?
That was the first surgery. So
Okay.
and it was really just the one surgery.
And this is day one.
This is day one.
How long
Since
from
the hit.
from hit to surgery are we?
So it's funny. I've tried to kind of piece this together. I think the hit was around 10:15, 10:20.
Okay.
I was confirm that.
I was probably I was probably at Evanston Hospital by 1 o'clock.
Okay.
And then I didn't wake up from surgery until like 4 or 5 in the morning the next day. So
okay.
that's
So you're 10:20 hit. You're no later than 1:30 surgery.
I'm thinking.
Oh well, we're talking less than 5 hours.
Yes, and when I wake up, I have a breathing tube in. Actually, when I woke up, they pulled it out almost immediately, and then they stuck a feeding tube up my nose, down my throat, into my stomach, like right away, which was wild. I had a horrible fever, so they were just throwing ice packs on me.
Oh, so it's man.
So I was in rough shape.
Because then, if you think about it, a fever is blood rushing to your head.
Well, that's it. And it's like my body is trying, like when you get a fever, it's your body trying to just figure out what's going on, trying to repair itself. So admittedly, I don't remember a lot from that first 4 or 5 days. I know that they were trying to get me to do physical therapy, so I had like this big cane right away. And as I would learn, the most healing, most recovery a person does after a TBI is first 6 months.
Wow.
That's the bulk, because
that's why they make you.
That's like right away. And
we're 1 year. Just so everyone knows, we're 1 year, 3 months into it.
1 year.
Was it in June? July?
4 months. It was about
1 year, 4 months.
1 year, 4 months.
Okay.
So, now at this point, when I wake up from surgery, my left side is almost entirely paralyzed. Can't move my arm, can't move my leg. Very little feeling. In fact, the feeling I am getting is like a combination of dull and like really intense. So when they would draw blood from me, I would always say do the right side, because the left side, it felt like 10 times worse.
Wow.
I'm not a doctor. I don't know why that is, but the intensity on the left side was like unbearable.
Yeah.
So then I was at Evanston for like 10 days. And then from Evanston, I went to Shirley Ryan Ability Lab, which is not arguably. It's, go ahead.
Everybody talks about that. Where is that?
Shirley Ryan?
Yeah.
Evanston?
The inpatient Shirley Ryan facility is in Streeterville, Chicago.
Okay.
So by like Navy Pier, like not far from Navy Pier,
Okay.
kind of right overlooking the lake.
Gotcha.
Hold on. So So you only had the one surgery?
I've had 2 surgeries. One was to get the skull out. The other was to put the skull back in.
Got it.
So
And that was
No,
just
go
to
ahead.
remove pressure.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
Did they do
okay.
anything else in the surgery? They stopped the bleed.
stop the bleed.
So they sutured the artery or whatever?
I would imagine. It's
Something like
funny.
that.
I did speak with my my neurosurgeon, but I never got the details of what exactly happened. I was told that when they took the skull out, he looked at my brain for 30 minutes to make sure I wasn't going to bleed more. So my brain was out, my skull was out, and then when he was confident that I was done bleeding, they popped it back in. Now the feeling was pre-surgery is that I would be in a coma. So that's why they were like, talk to your mom now. We don't know how bad this is until we open you up. So I luckily, out of surgery, they were like, okay, he's healed. It was better than we thought it was going to be. He'll just go back to the ICU
And
he won't be in a coma.
Was you not waking up until 4 or 5 a.m., was that considered a coma, or was that just...
That was just
the
from the
timeline?
surgery. That was the
Okay.
timeline of the surgery.
Okay.
In fact, I think, and again, I don't remember a lot.
So you
from when
waking
I woke
up pretty much right on schedule was just like a miracle kind of thing? Or
I think so, based on the level of severity. So,
Yeah.
like I said before, the primary effect that this ball had to my head was physical.
Mhm.
And I think that in a lot of ways is a miracle, because with most people in this injury,
And the
there's
laugh.
a neurological what? And
The
the
laugh,
laugh. But
yeah,
the
yeah.
laugh is like, I call it my curse. People seem to like it. I think
It's a blessing.
I think it's a nightmare.
I'm sure it's annoying now.
Oh my God.
Well, and we can go into like real quick. Let's sidetrack and talk about this vet story.
oh my God.
We got a really good story here. So let me just go over it quick. So
Yeah, take-
so me and Henry are sitting here, later in the day, hanging out.
It was about 4 or 5 o'clock.
Yeah, we're about to close up.
Yeah.
We're sitting here. Daniel just finishes up with lessons, and Daniel comes in. He's like, and here.
Yeah,
we go.
I don't think anyone knew, but I was like, oh, Cooper, my dog, is in the ER. He was admitted, I think I said a day and a half ago or something. It was It was a couple of days.
Which we didn't know about this.
Yeah, I was like, oh, he's in the ER, trying to figure out what's wrong with him.
Nothing funny about it.
Yeah, this, and this.
Very serious.
And as I'm saying this, about halfway through, he let out a laugh.
He didn't. He loses it.
And then he starts to just lose it. I think I turned and looked because you were already looking at him.
I'm laughing because he's laughing,
And he
and
just
nothing's
starts
funny.
losing
Yeah.
it over my dog in the ER.
Yeah. And then hold on, let me.
Come, how many hours later? Who is it? I can't see.
Lalo.
Oh, Lala.
Let me just pull up a quick receipt here. So yeah, so that happens, and then a couple hours later, where is this? Hold on. Oh my gosh, dog was fine, by the way.
Dog was fine.
Okay.
Came home. Eventually, everything was good. But it was about a week and a half trying to figure out what was wrong.
Yeah, so this is probably 5 o'clock. Yeah, so then you text me at 5:36.
This was Henry.
Henry texts me. And in an ultimate twist of irony, my girlfriend just rushed our dog to the emergency room. So this is like 30, 40 minutes after our incident here. And I'm like, oh my God, lock up. Just go tell everyone you're leaving, no problem. And exactly 45 minutes after that, you text me, in the waiting room, emergency vet just came in the room to explain situation, and I couldn't stop laughing.
So, all right.
You said it was like.
And that is just,
So
where we're at with
You
it.
said you lost it like the worst you ever had.
oh my God, the worst I've ever caught laughing ever. The vet comes in to explain what's happening with the dog, right? And she's very serious, and the dog ends up being fine.
Yeah.
But I am beet red, tears coming down my face. I'm laughing so hard. And I've never had to do this before. I turned to my girlfriend and I'm like, hey, I got to step out. And I can barely even say those words. I'm laughing so hard. I am like,
So blessing and a curse.
Losing it. It is a blessing. It is a
Blessing and a
It is
curse.
a curse, but a little bit of a blessing.
Yeah.
No, but
A twist of events, or whatever that text said.
In the ultimate twist of irony.
ultimate twist of irony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God! And even when I think back to what made me because sometimes it'll just be something that pops into my head to get me laughing, and sometimes even when I think back to what made me laugh, I'll start laughing, and it's like like these things just have an effect on me, and I can't help it, and it drives me absolutely up the wall, and it just sucks, but it is getting better.
I can remember walking back from the locker room, and you can kind of see, I don't know, you can't, or maybe you can, the windows on this side of the screen. Is the locker room's over there. I'm walking back, and I just look through the windows, and Henry's just staring at me. And I'm just looking back at him, and then he just loses it and goes on a laughing spree for like 3-4 minutes.
Oh,
It's
man.
just nonstop.
I will just say, in my defense, I have never lost it in front of a member or a golfer.
You've come close.
I have come close.
We had someone on what I would call a bit of a shopping spree.
That was. I'm sorry.
3-4 hours in the shop,
barely
and
counts.
you did lose it in front of him, and that was with good reason. That was hysterical.
That was unfair. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. That's unfair. He was in here for too long. So the laughing.
It's
And
like mid-tournament.
I will say, I first discovered this laughing. I had never told anyone this story. When I was at Shirley Ryan downtown in inpatient, I was in my wheelchair. I had my helmet. I was a mess. But I would do this therapy in groups sometimes with people with similar injuries, like usually stroke victims. I mean, nobody as young as me because it was mostly older men and women. I was with a guy once, and God, he suffered a stroke, and it was so sad. And he was in a wheelchair, and we were doing this like group thing together, and it was like it was like an art thing. We were like painting pictures, and he starts telling this story about his life, and I just no. And here's the thing. So I start laughing, but I catch it, and the therapist who's working with us is like, "Oh, Henry, you have like a bad cough." I'm like, "Yeah, can I have a tissue?" I get a tissue. I'm able to control it.
Which, like, why would you need a tissue for a cough?
No, but that's
the funny part.
It was, and this poor guy was telling me about, how he was living in the 80s during like the AIDS epidemic, and it was this horrible thing, and he was losing friends, and it was this sad thing, and I was just like, this thing popped into my head, and I just like started laughing, and I was like, shut up. Now,
trying to like stop.
What's even more tragic is after this session, as he was leaving, he's like, "Hey, I really liked working with you today. This was a lot of fun." And I was like, "This was a lot of fun. I'm so glad." Like in my head, I'm like, "I'm so glad I didn't just laugh the whole time like an idiot." I mean,
Did you eventually tell him?
no, I actually never saw the guy again.
Hopefully
Hopefully
he just got better and never
or
came
you
back.
just weren't in the same class.
In the same group.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, Shirley Ryan was incredible, and I will say, bringing it back to golf, from day one of my accident, whenever either a doctor or a therapist would ask me, like, because they'd always ask, like, "What are your goals?
What are your
What do you
goals?
want to do? Like, what's the pie in the sky?" And I said, I want to get back to golf more than anything, more than
And
walking.
here's where Lakeshore chimes in, right?
So getting back to golf, now early on, I was like, all right, well, my hand's going to get better by December.
Yeah.
I'm like, my left hand, I'm going to be back to normal by December.
High hopes.
Not a big deal. I can
Yeah.
do this. I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
And I mean, that didn't happen. My left hand is getting better, but I mean, as you can see, it's like I'm still doing this to stretch it out. It gets very tight.
What was their initial timeline, or did they not even have one?
So, the human brain, everyone's is different.
Yeah.
They've run about 1 million tests on me. They say anywhere from the first, like, 6 months, first year until, they say the brain is, from what I've heard, this isn't my thing, this is what doctors have told me, I've got about 10 years where I could continue to see progress at a slow rate for the next 10 years. And honestly, to this day, I'm still seeing measurable improvements,
Yeah.
I mean, my walking's better. I don't have a helmet, or they put my skull back in. But no, everything's getting better. And I mean, I'm incredibly driven to get better. Part of that, actually, when I was in therapy, they had me talk to a psychologist. And at one point,
Sorry, I didn't mean to
No,
interrupt.
no.
This is actually a good thing. Somebody else asked me today, actually, how's your spirits? Like, do you find yourself getting mad? Are you frustrated? Like, how this journey of the year and 4 months, like how your mental.
I've had bad
Has
days. I've had bad days. Overall, I'm in very high spirits.
As we can see here, I mean, being with you all the time.
But I feel
incredibly high spirits.
But my philosophy is, if I'm not in like, what other option do I have? Like, if I'm in bad spirits, I'm gonna be the most miserable person in the world.
You can lay in bed all day, or you can,
or
get up,
live your life,
and have set these goals, and we're getting close to them.
Well, yes, and before we go into these goals and how Billy and Daniel have helped me, and Zach and Taylor and Javi and the entire membership at Lakeshore, I was talking to a psychologist, and I was telling her about these goals that I have, and she said, and she wasn't trying to be mean, but she said, Henry, I think you're going to lead a very fulfilling, or she said, you will lead a fulfilling life.
Yeah.
But the way she said it made it sound like you will have a living, but you will not have a life. And that's how I've kind of taken that. And I don't think she was trying to be mean, but the way she said it was like, you can only ever hope to, be a cashier. You know what I mean? Like, not that that's
okay.
Like, I think of those words a lot.
Unintentionally. That's the way it came out.
Yes.
And so now you're using it as fuel.
Yeah, I mean, she said, like, I think you will lead a fulfilling life. Like, it will just be enough of a life. And I'm like, look, like,
screw that.
Yeah.
That's not at all my philosophy in life. I think there's a lot I can do with my life, and I reject that completely.
Awesome.
Like, completely.
You should.
That's incredible.
So.
All right, so getting to these goals that we've set.
Getting into it,
Right. Golf.
So you'd always played, you caddied, you worked at golf courses, and it's time to get back into playing.
Worked at lots of different golf courses, caddy my whole life, golfer my whole life. I said, it was one of my goals. Now, right off the bat, I don't know where I want to start with this, but there were...
Start anywhere you want.
Well, so I initially wanted to use both hands. And actually, I should shout out Northwestern Engineering through... My therapist at Shirley Ryan got in touch with Northwestern Engineering, and they developed a glove for my left hand to where I could hold the club with both hands. And it was this magnetic, beautiful, beautiful glove. I still have it and use it. It's so great. But what I realized is there were
what we realized,
here
through testing is
it's
that
all trial and error.
Yeah, and then we see people online, and even in teaching, we use a lot of one-arm drills. Right, for putting and short game, and especially right arm or dominant arm.
Dominant arm, which luckily is your right arm.
Exactly.
Yes.
So through testing, we had the Northwestern glove. We also had Ping, which shout out to our rep. Shout out to Ping.
They were incredible.
Incredible. They came out with a glove, and they have an adaptive section to. They have an adaptive section. And they had a grip with Velcro, the glove, the whole nine. And through testing with both of these things, we found out that, hey, there's the Instagram guy, Snappy Gilmore, and, through all this one-arm stuff, I'm like, we're like, let's try one arm, right?
Yeah.
So we go up there. We go up with XXIO ladies clubs. Flip onto it. So XXIO ladies irons and woods. Yeah. And we go up there.
We're just messing around.
Yeah. And you start striping the ball. Right? No, I hate to say it. You start striping the ball. Right? So I'm like, holy crap, we're onto something.
This could be the answer.
We are onto something.
You found out that it was a struggle to get the arm was so heavy.
Well, so
the arm has. Well, we like to say a mind of its own sometimes,
the
right?
left
Especially
arm
in the golf swing.
Is its own thing. And so, when that's a different struggle now of trying to kind of lock it down or secure the left arm. But
still working on stuff.
What I realized with the two hands is that my right arm was doing the work of two arms.
Yep.
Right.
So so that's where we came to the conclusion of let's try one hand, one arm.
Exactly.
Plus, the XXIOs are so light.
Super light.
That it was perfect for you to
super light.
With good pop off the club face.
Yeah.
So we did a bit of a testing. I think we did 1.5 inches short throughout the bag. Because if you think about the golf swing, I don't have a club here, but if you're only using your right arm, your right hand, mind you, is going to be the low one, right? So we were talking about low point in the golf swing, angle of attack, and a 1.5 inch short club got your right hand to the position to where those things are kind of perfect now. Shallow divot, good contact with the hybrids and the fairways, and then with the driver, perfect low point position.
Yes, and actually shout out to Zach with that, because I remember we were at the range, and we were hitting driver, and I kept snapping it left. I just could not make good contact. And Zach, I think he was just up at the range maybe doing another lesson, and he looked over at me, and he was like, really open up that left foot. Really just almost like it's like almost too opened up.
Like did he have you drop it back or flare it?
Just flare
it.
Like,
flare it, okay.
Both, and drop it a little bit.
So you could
exactly swing across the line.
And I would say, I think driver's best club in my bag.
That's awesome.
I don't miss.
Henry, you hit the driver. I've seen you hit it over 220.
It's
230.
It feels great, honestly.
Which is, going from 0 to 100, and so now, through, I think it. I hate to forget the position he has, but Chuck Theory.
He's the guy.
His name. Yeah. And I think we talked last episode about how I went to Kiowa and Pinehurst.
Yep.
That was on the XXIO trip, where I met Chuck. Unbelievably stand-up guy. So we reach out to Chuck, and Chuck says, and we were just trying to get PUD on the set of irons. Like we were gonna pay for the irons for you, no problem. Chuck says, screw that. Full staff.
Yeah.
So we got Henry.
Get him going
on a full staff deal with these XXIO clubs.
It's incredible.
We've got sand wedge to driver, and then we have a Cleveland 60 degree.
Got fitted for a Cleveland 60 degree wedge,
which we just got. That has been
incredible.
Incredible
out of bunkers, incredible around the green, great feel. That club too, I just feel great with, and that's mostly all Billy there helping me with that.
So we got XXIO, Irons, Woods.
That was the start, right? That was
Cleveland wedge, tricks on ball,
again.
Getting the clubs,
and that's most important.
Yeah. And then we ran into the problem with the putter, right? So we ran into the problem with the putter. Your putter was too heavy, short, whatever it was.
Had a mind of its own.
Yeah. So we're trying to come up with ideas to go some sort of custom route, right? And
honestly,
you started using I use a 37-inch putter. I'm a tall guy.
I wasn't even as ambitious enough to think totally custom.
That's exactly, whether it was from XXIO, Odyssey, whatever it was. I was thinking, we need to go full arm lock, custom. I don't care if we have to fly out to California. We're getting this. Yeah, we're getting this guy a fully custom putter. Brian comes in. I started talking about swag. Because of Nick Hardy. Nick Hardy was on my high school team. He had just signed this deal with Swag. I'm like, holy crap, they're down the street. This could be insane. Our GM, Brian, reaches out to, I think, Chris on LinkedIn, of all things. We have them out here. They play golf. Meet Henry. They're like, okay, let's do this thing. So they have us to their studio in Northbrook, down the street. We go. Unbelievable experience, first off.
First of all,
these guys in this place is...
I have never been there.
Yeah, this place is special, right? We get there, we got drinks going, we've got their tour fitter, Nick.
Who used to be the guy with Bettinardi, who fit a lot of the big guys at Bettinardi.
Yeah. I think he came up with Kuchar's arm lock.
Yes.
So this guy's real deal. And we get in there, and I said to Henry before this, I'm like, Henry, this isn't like, I know they're known for their head covers. I'm like, I'm not going in here and getting some BS stock putter so we can have the head covers.
You're getting fit.
I'm like, Henry, we're going in there, we're getting fit, right?
Yeah.
We go in there, these guys are pulling heads out of nowhere. We've got shafts going, the whole thing.
They've got the big super stroke.
Yeah, the big super stroke arm lock grip. And so what we go with, they build a putter on site for us to test, right? And they've got, it's not Sam Putt Lab, it's something even crazier.
I forget. There's a couple new ones.
I forget. It's unbelievable.
I think it starts with a G.
Something. So they build this putter, It's got an LA Golf shaft in it.
Like a
and
ski
I'll
shaft.
show you. Yeah,
Beautiful ski shaft.
I'll show you which putter it is here.
Has it come in?
Has not come in yet. They are in the process
So they're
of.
still.
So it's this head.
So it's the boss.
It's the boss head, which is a little bit more of a mallet, which is kind of what we were off the bat looking for.
Same putter Anna Norquist uses on the LPGA Tour.
Yeah. So we've got this putter, shaft, grip on. This thing's fresh off the press. We watch him build it. We're in the back room watching him build
41 inches.
41 inches.
Oh, so it's 41. Okay,
It's 41, and the thing with the arm lock is when you arm lock a putter, you typically put like 7 or 8 degrees of loft on it.
Yep.
Because you press forward into your left arm.
You probably had to take it off because it's your right
So
arm.
we didn't have to take. It might be 1 degree strong, but since we're going right arm only, now we could try standard loft putters, which is what we did. Henry, we gave you this putter, got you on this
Yeah.
camera,
Perfect.
and the putt was a 15-foot putt on this mat.
Yeah.
He didn't miss one. I mean, I'm talking about perfect end-over-end putts. With this random putter we just built, we were thinking like we're gonna have to sit here and
2
couple
hours
and test putters.
Yeah.
This thing is
was quick.
immediate, just dialed in, and then we talked about length and a couple other things, but
But I
right
knew
off the
away.
bat,
I
this
knew
thing's
right away.
dialed
I
in.
think I said to you right away. It's like, this is it. I mean,
Yeah.
this is it.
Oh, we knew right away.
Yeah.
I know it's longer, but what's the weight like? Is it managed?
Weight?
How
No.
is-
So what we did is the grip is counterweighted, and the shaft is
okay.
heavy. So the shaft is They showed us this one putter. I think it was going to someone on tour.
Yeah.
That one regular length putter. And
yeah.
it had the LA Golf shaft with a counterbalance grip. And
And that thing
we
felt
immediately felt it. We're like,
incredible.
holy crap, this
Yeah,
thing's unbelievable.
that felt
It was literally,
incredible.
it was on rails.
Yeah.
The thing was on rails.
Well, once
So-
you get it, I can't wait.
Yeah, it's gonna, and yeah, oh my god, this thing's gonna be so good for
Did
you.
they ask for any colors or anything you wanted?
Oh, so here, so this is
Customized.
why it's taking so long.
Yeah.
Is
so.
Henry wants the thing blacked out.
Oh,
Well, no, first of all,
Oh.
Henry wants it, but
Yeah.
but
Henry wants it.
But-
if we could do it custom.
Nate,
Yeah.
and I really got to give a shout out to Nate,
Nate.
who was the fitter at Swag, worked for Bettinardi.
Wait, Nate's the fitter.
Nate's the fitter.
Okay, Nick's the owner.
Nick's the owner. Chris,
Messed up the names. Messed up the
So
names.
Nate was like, "Here's what we can do for you, Henry. We can black it out. We can do any kind of custom design on the bottom of the putter." I'm like, "Look," and he's like, "And because he went to Illinois, we can do blue and orange."
Blue and orange on the black putter with the black shaft
I'm
with
like,
the black
look,
grip.
you're
And
just-
you went to Illinois.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm like, "You're speaking my language here." So then a couple of months ago, this was maybe a month ago now.
Yeah.
And in that time, we've been talking, and we got a design for the bottom.
Because we were gonna do
We're gonna do the chief.
the chief, but then we're like, let him cook.
Let them cook.
Let
That
'em
was
cook.
We're let
Let
them
'em
do what
cook.
they want. They're doing this. One of their designs at Swag is this knight. It's the king rather
That's
with a
sick.
sword, and he's like, we can engrave that on the bottom and do blue and orange. I'm like, look, I
The skull on the face.
do a skull on the face, do whatever. That looks incredible. Let's just do that. So I am just on pins and needles here, waiting to see this thing, and
Yeah.
I really just can't wait. They've just been, all of them have been incredible. Chris,
Yeah, I mean,
Nate,
such down to earth dudes, and they came and played golf here, and now we're gonna work with them in the future on other stuff for the club, this, that, and the other,
Right.
And just fantastic guys.
I mean,
and for
super,
them to do this for us is just just shows the level of respect.
Character,
I mean,
yeah.
just the character. I mean, it's unbelievable that they would do this, and not only that they did this, because they could say, "Oh yeah, we'll send you a putter."
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
well, they could have said, yeah, we'll do this, and here we'll just give you for cost.
Yeah,
Like,
cost.
no, they're
No,
decking you
he
out.
is
They're-
Henry is on Swag and XXIO staff and Cleveland and Strixon. We're dialed
And
in.
I should give another shout out. I'm now getting shoes from FootJoy.
And
Oh,
FootJoy.
yes,
So-
that
Arrogant
happened last
FootJoy
week,
shoes.
Yes.
Last week
So-
I met a rep at FootJoy whose name escapes me, and I'm so
Eric.
sorry.
Yeah,
Eric.
Great
Eric.
guy. Yep.
Awesome guy.
Great guy. He's like, well, what do you need? I'm like, well, the shoes I'm using now have they're the
Insoles.
pleated shoes. I can put my insoles in them. They're just really sturdy shoes. Like, I need a sturdy shoe. So we talked some options. I looked at some of what's coming out next year, and I'm got a pair of shoes coming my
Yeah,
way. And
sweet.
That's awesome.
I guess the next now, what this leads into is what does
Yeah.
this
Where
all
we're
mean?
going with it.
Where are we
Are
going?
we
with
going
it?
and playing Twilight rounds at Sunset Valley with this
Willow Hill?
gear? Yeah, what are we
No.
doing here?
No.
So, this is the goal right here.
Yeah.
The Adaptive Golf Tour.
Is it U.S. Adaptive Golf
Yes.
Yep.
Alliance?
Alliance. So
Okay.
so the USAGA.
Yeah.
They host these tournaments.
Across the Midwest, United States, all over.
Yeah.
It's becoming more and more of it. It's getting bigger. I am registered with them now, so I get their updates.
I didn't know. Nice.
Well, so and that was Billy helped me out with that.
Yeah.
I don't know if they ever. Last time I checked, I didn't see. I'm sure
The new schedule I don't think has come out yet.
for next year.
No.
So this is. I mean, these are tournaments I'm gonna have to start to play in across the United States.
So like even like this week is the Texas Adaptive.
Oh.
Texas Adaptive Championship, right? So it's just
Okay. So it sounds like a Texas Open for adaptive
exactly,
golf.
yeah. See, like they have their own association.
Oh man.
It's unbelievable.
And so
They got their own events. Does Illinois have one?
I think we have a couple. So yeah, I mean, look at this: round 1, round 2, practice rounds. I mean, this is real deal stuff, you know.
And so I have been. I mean, I am just, running headfirst into this.
Yeah.
I'm very into it. I got to get back out there. It's proving to myself that I can do this and I can compete. Now, of course, for me, the carrot at the end of this stick is not just this Adaptive Open, but the Adaptive U.S.
Bang.
Open.
2024 U.S. Adaptive Open
Third annual. It's only
at
the
Sand
third
Creek
annual.
Station in Kansas. This is the meat and potatoes. This is the goal. We are doing this.
Absolutely.
So
Gonna be there.
Yep.
My questions are: how do you qualify?
Okay.
And which, what do they call it? Category do you play in?
So, two very good questions, and these are things that, just as a preface here, these are things that I am still learning about myself.
So if anyone knows any more details and wants to send
Well,
information.
So my therapist downtown is a fitter for adaptive golf, which means he does the assessments for people that want to play adaptive golf. And so in order for me, first of all, to even play an adaptive event, I need to go and get assessed by him. I do a formal assessment, and that covers me for the entire season next year.
Which is it like do you play with him? Does he have a hitting bay?
It's a hitting bay, and I think it's like they determine like my literal handicap, and then from there they will also determine, I think, what category I play in. I know because I had a neurological injury.
There's like so
Yeah.
there's like
Yeah.
keep it on here while I open it.
Okay.
There's a bunch of different categories.
Yeah.
So keep talking. Let me
No, so I would be in the neurological division, which now again there are, I think, yes, Billy's looking it up right now, but there are levels to that even.
Are
yeah.
you doing? Did you go see him yet, or when are you
Not
gonna
yet.
do that?
I'm going to
winter?
do this assessment over the next 2 months, I'd say.
Would you mind if I come?
I'm sure that wouldn't be a problem. I'd have to ask him, but I'm sure that wouldn't be a problem.
That'd be awesome. I'd
They have
love
their
to
own
just be there
golf
with you to
rankings
see
for
it.
this.
Yeah.
Hold on.
The because it'll be this winter.
Yes.
Do you
I'll have
remember
some
what it was
downtime.
called?
What was called
The card we needed or whatever?
Oh, no, I get their emails and I don't. But actually, while Billy's looking that up, your other question was, what do I need to do to play in the U.S.
Yes.
Adaptive Open?
Yeah.
Now, for that, what it used to be, and by used to I mean the first 2 years of this Adaptive U.S. Open, all you needed was a handicap of 36 or better.
Okay.
Now, this year, for the first time, they're going to do qualifying.
Oh.
So, like the actual U.S.
US Open.
Open, I need to qualify to play in this thing. Now, I don't know the details of what the qualifying events are going to be
Because they've never done it.
because they've never done it, and I think
Okay.
it's still
I'm sure they'll post it eventually
Yes.
here. When is the event? I didn't even remember. What was
the U.S. Open is going to be in June.
It's in June.
Yeah.
And so assuming the qualifiers are going to be in May, April and May
Yeah.
across the country.
Sure.
Just like the normal.
Yeah.
Okay, so here are the classifications. So there's classifications for lower limb, classifications for arm, right? 3 different classes.
Oh, so there's classes.
Yeah,
within-
there's amputee. There's both arm impairments. So you've seen, I think there's a couple guys on Instagram that use the
They
long
like
club
the
with their
long
chin.
clubs, yeah.
Exactly.
Around
So
the
they'd
neck,
be
yeah.
they'd be that G6. And so you'd probably be, if we don't use a device, then you'd be G4, which I think is a little bit. I hate to say like ruling any out, but I think the G4 is like the best of the three.
Well, so it's not using any aid or adaptive device.
Exactly.
Do not intentionally use the impaired arm, so that
Exactly.
So yours will be tucked like in your
So
pocket.
I think we could get away with tucking it. We wouldn't be able to get away with like doing the Velcro or doing anything to lock the arm down.
No,
exactly.
and here's the thing. So we're looking this up now. I know that I would also be. So there's that division, but
and then there's the
G.
G15.
Yeah, so I'd be intellectual disabilities, and
Yeah.
that's technically what this would be, I think, for me.
Yeah.
Cognitive function and skill, including communication, social, and self-care skill.
Or maybe not. This is
Maybe not. Now we're getting into it.
no, I.
Well, because the example was Down syndrome and autism.
But this shows that I'm still learning about
Exactly.
what exactly I need to do.
So we're not fully there
Yeah.
yet.
And
Obviously,
part
it's
of-
October, so
part
we've got a lot of
this
time.
Part of this assessment is going to be what class, what
Exactly.
division I'm in.
So I think if
Okay.
anything, we'd probably be G4, right?
yes, and so
Well, so is there anything? And I don't know, because your leg as well. Like you have
Combined arm and leg, impairment arm and leg. Some of the mild coordination problems, all extremities. So I mean, I think we could be G7.
one arm and one leg.
I-
You
One arm,
might be
one
at
leg.
G7.
yes, and now again, I need to have I need to have a conversation with my therapist during this assessment.
Look at G8
so
though.
I know
Now
exactly.
look at G8. Athletes with neurological conditions and coordination impairments.
That actually might be it.
Oh, so maybe
Unbalanced,
it's-
involuntary movements, difficult in maintaining a symmetrical posture due to a neurological condition.
Brain
Brain
injury,
injury.
brain
I
injury.
think I would be G8.
Okay.
G8.
Yeah.
Look at that. We're finding out.
So now we're
G8.
just muddling through here.
G8.
Well,
Let me.
It'll be cool. I would love to be there to see kind of what they do, because this could.
So
open
let
up
me
for the
look
future.
up. Let me look up
So
U.S.
yes,
adaptive.
and while Billy's doing that, I will just say, I mean, every day now, if I'm not playing golf, I am in the gym. I'm doing things that are helping me with golf, getting back to golf.
Because you have therapy, what, 4 days a week or 5 days a week?
I have therapy now. My schedule's been sort of dialed back, but it's like about an hour a day, 4 days a week.
And
give or
then
take.
gym supplementing that, like.
I'm in the gym 5-6 days a week.
Oh.
For at
Yeah.
least an hour, hour and a half every day.
So what are you looking at, Billy?
So I'm just looking up scores. So this guy's going to rock you.
As of,
Kip,
how
Kip
long
is
is
going
he
to
gonna
rock
play?
you. No, I'm kidding.
look, as of right now-
So arm impairment.
So what was the?
So they don't have it broken down. They have arm impairment, intellectual, leg, multiple limb amputee, and then neurological. And then they have obviously seated shortened vision.
So neuro.
So just kind of depending on where we are, I think we're probably either in this one or in this one.
and again, because I'm so crazy, and these scores are very impressive,
Yes.
a lot of what I'm going to be doing this winter is, I mean, really just golfing my butt off, traveling for golf. I mean, these are real scores they're putting up.
So obviously you've just been back to playing the last 2 months, right?
If that month and a half.
month and a half. So
Yeah.
what?
And you've broken 90?
I've come close.
Come close.
Where are you living? Like, what's the score range?
I'm right around mid 90s, mid 90s, but I think realistically my biggest problems right
Putting.
now are putting,
Yeah.
Because you got to get your putter.
Yeah.
putting, and honestly long clubs. So like my hybrids, I'm still learning how to hit,
Yeah.
but it's mostly putting. Like I can mess around the greens just fine. Off the tee, I'm just fine. I need to get a putter in my hand, and I just need to play more.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna be traveling this winter and playing. I'm gonna
Yeah.
be, and quite frankly, I'm not expecting to, rock socks my first year at this. I want to just get there, and I want to get to the show. I want to see what I can do. I want to see what that feels like to be there.
Get to the show.
Get to the show.
And that's the name of the game. You just got to show
So-
up, right?
And you live down in Wilmette, right? So
Yeah, in this area.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I'm here 3 days a week. If you want to pop over, come over and
Pop in.
and we'll hit. I mean,
And we
I
could
don't
do
even have to do anything.
FaceTime
We could
stuff.
Zoom
Just-
stuff.
just-
No
yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
We'll get
I know,
there.
I'll
And
be-
once we
just
get
the
to the
reps.
spring, once we get to the spring, I know I think you're going to go to Arizona. You're going to come see me down in Georgia. And once we get to the spring, we're going to have the full bag. You're going to have FootJoy shoes on. And I think we're getting there.
I
Yeah.
I
honestly,
firmly believe that with the putter, with the full bag, and with some more teaching and coaching,
So we gotta get you a Garmin watch.
we're breaking 80, guaranteed.
I think
Guaranteed.
realistically, I think in a non-tournament round by January, February, I could be shooting mid-low 80s.
Oh,
I
easy.
think realistically,
Easy.
once I get
Like
full
I said, I
bag-
mean that putter's gonna knock 10 off.
I love
I mean, I'm not
the
kidding. It's
optimism.
We're gonna knock
Love
10.
the optimism.
It's gonna knock 10.
What yardage have you been playing?
So
Like 52.
between 52 and like 58.
Yeah.
Depending on the course. Like I played
Okay.
Conway Farms on Sunday, and I was playing it at maybe 52, 53,
Yeah.
and then I played Sunset Ridge the other day, and that was I think right around that. Maybe.
Does it feel manageable, or does it feel like does it feel like it's short? Do you feel like it's long, or does
No.
it feel like, okay, this is the wheelhouse I can?
That yes, but I did say to Billy not too long ago. The hardest thing for me with golfing right now is changing mindset.
Yeah.
So pre-accident, there were shots I could do, and I knew what I could handle on a golf course. And what's changed now is course maintenance, how I manage a golf course, like.
Literally, you're thinking around the golf course.
Well, it's like from now on, it's like if I have a long par 4, I know I'm not getting home in 2. So it's like driver and then give myself a chance for a chip.
Mhm.
And then if I make bogey, so be it. If I make a par, that's great.
Yeah.
But that's the way it is now. Like par 3s I can hit, par 3s are no change. But
Yeah.
par 5s are for sure not getting home in 2. I mean, it's going to be 3, maybe 4.
Yeah.
And hopefully make a putt.
Yeah.
But even that's going to get better. I'm going to gain distance, going to get more
It's all about getting the
comfortable.
reps in too.
That's all it
We're new
is.
to this.
Yeah.
We got a brand new set of clubs. We
Just
just gotta
started
get
playing again.
just gotta get reps in.
Yeah, maybe we can this winter we can reach out to maybe a few people that do it and say, hey, what do you?
I've had that thought too.
What are your? How did you get better and better? Well, how
Yeah.
did you swing it? How did you chip it? Whatever
Yeah.
the.
Now I will say
Case may be.
I have a goal above the Adaptive U.S. Open. I don't know if I've
Oh.
shared with either of you.
have
Well,
not shared
I mean,
with me.
besides playing Augusta, I would
Which,
love.
if anyone wants to help us,
we would love to go down.
I know
we
that
would
I have
love
a
to go
coach or
down.
two that would love to. No, I know that over in Europe right now, they have actually for a long time have had a pretty significant
adaptive
European
tour
adaptive tour.
with,
And
Oh.
with payouts.
with payouts, but it not even just like whatever, like that's great.
Yeah.
But I would love the chance to once I have proven myself
Yeah.
and I've established myself as a golfer
Totally.
again. My dream is to make it out to Europe and play in Europe and see what that's all about.
You've told me.
Yeah,
I
maybe I
love it.
have said that.
I love it.
I'm down.
That's the
I'm
goal.
down. I
That's
can
where I'm
play.
at. I'm still healing, still getting better, playing golf with the help of these guys.
Yeah,
That's where we're at.
that's good.
No, I mean that's for a wild fluke thing,
Yeah.
and a year and some change. Like, it's crazy to see where you've gotten to.
Mm.
I've said it before, but it's like bad things happen. I'm not
Yeah.
saying bad things happen to good people. Bad things just happen.
Mhm.
And I think you can either let that define your life or you can make it be the least interesting thing about you.
Yeah. And we're
And
going
I-
to show
that's-
this lady that
that's
said you're going to live a
really good.
fulfilling life that we're going
You're gonna live.
to
a
hit these goals and
extremely
yeah.
thrilling life.
Yeah.
I want to get that on. Yes, and I use that as motivation.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well,
That'll
I
be
mean,
good.
you're in the shop day in and day out. Your spirits are unbelievable, and as much as you don't like your laughing, when you are laughing, it's kind of it kind of feels good.
Oh, it's
'cause, like,
contagious. It's
you know,
contagious.
It beats the alternative.
It does.
Sure.
And I know it's
yes.
rough
Yeah,
because
you're
you're
going
dealing
fish
with it
tomorrow
constantly.
night.
You were going.
Oh, you were going to go
You
to
were
fish.
going to
Yeah, I
fish.
see what you did there.
What happened to fish?
We're not talking about.
All right, no fish.
We're not talking about. I made a mistake, and I'm Taylor. I'm sorry if you're listening to this. I'm gonna blame the head injury. I forgot, and it's just an absent mind, and so I'm sorry, Taylor. Fish will be fun.
Another
Stuff
time.
happens. Another time.
No,
Yeah.
but I'm getting back to life, going to Hawks games with these guys.
We did go to the Hawks game.
Yep.
Did we talk about the Hawks game last time?
Last pod.
We
So
talked about the Hawks
We didn't
game.
talk about the new season.
We did not talk about the new season. Pittsburgh. Sorry about that. You guys suck. Because he had a first game, and he had a wraparound goal against the Bruins.
Yeah.
2 nights ago. We lost, but who cares? First goal, wraparound. How you doing?
Season's underway.
Yeah. Is that any good? So
We'll talk more about it as we get going.
we will. So awesome. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank
Is
you
that
for
all she
joining
wrote?
us.
Yeah.
Is that?
That's it. That's all she wrote.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Thank
How
you for
doing?
watching.
Good in yourself.
Good in you, good in yourself, and we'll see you next Monday.
Thanks, boys.
Praying to his hair.